Hello and welcome to another Age of Wonders 4 video here on the Mole Under Management channel. My name is ChaosMole and today we want to talk about the beginner tips for newcomers to the Age of Wonders series. This is a video where you will learn about a few tips and tricks on how you can make your first time experience in Age of Wonders 4 better. What is this based on? Well, to make it absolutely clear, I have not played Age of Wonders 4 yet. I don't have a preview version, early access version or anything like that. I'm basing all my information on the things which are out there on the internet, like videos, blog posts, interviews, live streams from actually people who already have the game, and of course my hundreds of hours I have played the previous Age of Wonders games, because even though Age of Wonders 4 is doing a lot of things differently, it is still at heart an Age of Wonders game. Second, for all the veterans who are watching this, don't just watch this video and go, well, duh, I know that. Let the people know down below in the comments. Give them your insights on the things you have learned by playing this game previously, and tell people what to do or what not to do to really enjoy a round of Age of Wonders. So don't just sit on that pile of knowledge, give it to other people, but be nice about it. No need to be an asshole. Last but not least, thank you very much everyone who has been watching the videos as of late and also who has been subscribing to the channel. It helps me out a great deal. We have now reached over 100 subscribers in just a few days. Again, thank you so much. Don't forget, if you enjoy this video, like it, comment on it, subscribe to the channel. Also, we will stream Age of Wonders 4 on the channel when it comes out, so you might want to ring the bell icon to get informed when the next live stream is going live. And again, thank you for everyone supporting this endeavor. I really do appreciate that. Thank you. Now, enough chit chat. Let's talk about the tips I can give you for playing Age of Wonders 4. First things first, there are tons of different factions you can create. You can even create your own maps, and you can see that right now happening a little bit in the background. And there is tons of information coming at you. It can be a little bit much for beginners, and I can already see some people saying, oh man, dude, I just want to have fun with the game. I don't want to read for hours and hours to create a relatively shitty faction, and then it doesn't work out at all for me. I'm not sure if I'm up for this. Oh, don't you worry about it. The good news is you can just all skip this. You can create random factions, like for yourself, if you so desire, or even better, you just choosing already pre-created factions and maps in Age of Wonders. There is no need to create your own faction. You can just take whatever it is readily available to you. So if you just want to jump into the game, good news, the developers have already created lots of factions and lots of maps for you, which you can just use to do your first round of play. So you don't have to get anxiety about all those information being thrown at you, if you don't want that. Of course, if you want to dive deep into this, go ahead. There's a lot to choose from. Second, read the information given to you. A lot of games are becoming streamlined today. And yes, even some Paradox games, Hello Victoria 3, have this issue that they have streamlined the interface and have been taking away information from you, which are really, really important to understand what the hell is going on in front of you. The good news is Age of Wonders doesn't have that problem. Yes, they have a very streamlined interface, but you can see it right here in the background. There are tons of information and explanation to you what means what. And you have to read it. I know, I can already see some people saying, oh no, reading, and I'm with you on that, totally. But again, if you want to understand what the heck is going on here, you have to read a little bit. You have to understand your faction, you have to understand your perks, you have to understand what's going on. Nothing is worse than playing a game where the game is coming to you and is saying, look at that, here's a chest piece which is giving you 69 armor. Nice. But that doesn't really help you. What is that supposed to mean? How much damage reduction is that? Is that helping me against range attacks? Is that helping me against magic? What does this number mean? And the game goes, well, not my problem. Figure it out. Right? And the good news is Age of Wonders is not doing that. Age of Wonders is telling you in detailed, like, what to expect, what it does, and where things are coming from. So please do yourself a favor and read up on the stuff which is in front of you, because it will otherwise create some headache for you. Now, the next thing is we have to talk about is fight your fights. I know this sounds a little bit weird, and some people might say, wait, did you mean pick your fights? No, I mean fight your fights. What is that supposed to mean? It means that when you are starting out new, you don't want to do the auto fights all the time. I know it is super convenient, right? That you are just like having an enemy who has far less units than you. You are far superior to them, and you're just clicking the auto fight, and then you just win, and you can go on playing the game. I know that's super convenient, and a lot of veteran players are doing this sometimes up till mid-game before they're actually doing their first fights. But please, as a new player, and this even goes to some veteran players who have never played, like me, Age of Wonders 4, fight your fights manually. Why? Because it gets you accustomed to how the tactical maps work. What do you have to look out for? How does the combat feel? And more importantly, how does your faction feel? What do you excel at? What do you bring to the table which makes your faction unique? And there is no better way than finding this out by fighting manually, because then you're getting acquainted to your tier 1 units, tier 2 units, tier 3 units, and then tier 4 units in the end game. And nothing is worse than having your first fight when you already have some advanced units in your army and you have absolutely no clue what the hell you were doing. Like, you would go into a fight and you would go, oh, wait, what is this? Fireball, I have no clue what that's supposed to do. Okay, probably doing some fire damage. Oh, it's AoE. Oh, damn, I just burned my own units. Okay, this was bad. What is this unit doing? Oh, yeah, okay, it looks strong. Let's send it in a melee combat. Oh, that was a range fighter. Oh my god, I'm doomed. Right? Like, you don't really want to do that, because thankfully, at the beginning of the game, fights allow you to survive. And even if you are losing a unit, good news, you can probably easily replace them. It would take like 1 or 2 turns till you are getting back the unit. And it will not be as much as a disaster as a mid-game or even like end-game unit. You have absolutely no clue how they are working in conjunction with your previous units. You don't want that. So please do yourself a favor, even it might be a little bit annoying at the beginning. Fight your fights. And if everything fails, and this gets us to the next tip, just restart. Wait, what? Yeah, just restart. Like what I'm doing, and this is something I do totally personal. This is not something which is acknowledged or anything in the 4X community. I'm doing the 30 to 50 turns rule. And what that means is, after that amount of turns, I'm taking a hard look at my faction and what my accomplishments are. How do I feel about the faction? Is this something I want to continue to play? Do I think like the faction works perfectly with what I'm normally playing, right? Let's say you are playing a faction which is focusing on swarm units, and you just realize, oh man, dude, I am not the person for quantity, right? I want quality, man, right? So you then have to decide if you want to restart. And that is very important, because nothing is worse than actually going into mid or end game, which would take another 20 or 30 hours, and just hate the faction you have been choosing, right? Like, don't do that. Just cut your losses here, go with your gut feeling and say, okay, you know what? This mole holy faction sounded cool on paper, But now playing this for 30 to 40 turns or 50 turns, yeah, this is not what I envisioned. So do a restart. That might actually make the game much more fun. Now, this brings us to the last point, but definitely not the least, play your strength. Every faction you are playing has their own strengths and weaknesses. This is why all the other points I mentioned before this are so important, because they are all coming together in this: what is your faction good at? What does the faction excel at? And what is it not at doing well, right? And you can figure that out, and you have to not get confused by, like, let's say you are playing quantity over quality. You're playing a mid to end game faction. And you're preparing everything, and then you see all those different spells, all those different units you can choose from, and you go, oh damn, oh my god, look at this unit, oh my god, this looks great, oh, this spell could really help me. And you just realize, wait a minute, this is not helping my playstyle at all. This is not doing anything for me. So don't get distracted, is the magical word here. The same goes when you, let's say, play a swarm faction, the complete opposite, right? You want to focus on tier 1 units and some tier 2 units, and you want to really dominate the early game because this is where you excel probably the most with your swarm units. But if you were thinking about like researching something which is not helping your swarm, or like building a unit which is like going for mid to end game, and you are focusing on completely, well, the wrong aspects of what your faction is good at, you will lose a lot of steam, and it will make it really problematic later on. So when you choose a faction, when you choose your units, play along your strength and try to avoid the things which are not really meant for you. Those are the tips I can give you for starting out in Age of Wonders. As I said, there's probably much more to discuss, and I will also go a little bit more into detail later on when, well, we all have access to the game, and I can give you insights on how the numbers work, how like exactly the game will look like when we are able to play it, because that is still a little bit different. But those are definitely the tips I can give you as a beginner. For all the veterans who have been watching this, thank you for much for that as well. But please go down below in the comments and let people know what tips you can give them to just have more fun in Age of Wonders 4 when it comes out on Tuesday. One last thing, if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. I really mean it. It helps me out a ton. We are focusing quite a bit here on the channel on strategy, management, building games, like everything which is basically going into the whole strategy area of video games. That's what we are covering here on the channel. So it's not just Age of Wonders, even though Age of Wonders right now is a pretty big focus point, as you might have already noticed. But again, thank you so much for the support here, and also share the video if you think this might actually help some people who are new to the Age of Wonders series. With that said, thanks so much for watching. I hope I see you next time. Stay safe.